video. And we talked briefly about the Ring is a particular brand of doorbell ring camera. And if you read an article in Greenfield PD has the same crime reports as we do. And they were partnering with that particular company, but you can use any camera. You know, there's tons of them out there. They're fairly inexpensive. They usually come with free storage. And you know, you don't need to keep the storage. It's up to you if you want to keep that. But you can, you know, for fairly inexpensive, you can have a camera. And what it does, you can actually interact with the person at your door. So some of them, you know, you push the doorbell, you get a picture, and you can say hello. And you may be in Florida on the beach, but you can interact with that person. And so they'll go on to the next place. So that's really what, from the public perspective, that's hopefully we're trying to get people to register those and to be interactive with us. And so that's the next level for us, is this new. Just like I said, just read an article in Franklin. I don't know if they're using crime reports. They may not be aware of it, but they are asking for citizens to register their cameras with the police department. We would be asking you to go, here's a picture of what the website looks like. And this is actually live today. It's been live for the past week. And this started January 1st, and you can see the little nuggets of information there. All you do is you would click on that, and I think the one highlighted there is the orange vehicle. It says theft from vehicle, and it would say 1700 block of East Capitol. And so you would just, if you want to check the next one, you'd click on that, and you can see what that one is.
Chief, this is different, from my understanding, than Wixel because it reports all the crime.
Yeah, this will be, this is everything. Now there's some things that we're not putting out there, sexual assaults, things of that nature that are real sensitive. But all your thefts, burglaries, robberies, disorderly acts are all up there for anyone to view. That it does not get updated immediately. It gets updated at 1 a.m. If you want to be up at 1:15 in the morning, you'll get the fresh reload if you really want that. But it does push the information once a day. It's just the way it's built, and so I don't want anybody to think that it's close to real time as we can possibly get. But it will push the data once, so it'll update itself once a night.
And the cost?
And that cost us $400 to register with crime reports. Crime reports is put on by Motorola Solutions, and it's powered by Socrata. I think is the software behind it. I'm not sure. I'm not a technical person, but that's their website. And then you can see at the top there it says register a camera, and that's where you would go in there and you'd put your information. It's pretty simple. You can do it from your smartphone, and then you can submit tips, and then you can create alert. So you could send information to other people. You can also register for you to get the alert. So if you want everything that happened in Shorewood, you could get those alerts pushed to your cell phone. Or if you want a particular street or a particular crime, you could have that pushed to you directly. Or you could go to the website and view it.
I just put a YouTube search for Ring doorbell camera, and there's a number of like 7 to 10 minute sites that or videos to show you exactly how it works.
Yeah. So they're really the newest technology out there, and if we could pair with our citizens on that, I think we could help reduce crime. So some more of the benefits, I don't want to steal your thunder here, but some more of the benefits of the crime reports is for us is the increased awareness of your crime. The camera registration helps citizens and law enforcement partner together in preventing and solving crime using the registered security cameras. So, and it builds relationships between us, right? We got to come see you, you got to talk to us, find out who we are, and that builds a relationship between our officers and our citizens. And then Jeff here, he doesn't have to come anymore. He can just go right on the site and look everything up. So you can see what's going on too. Yeah, we like Jeff. And CBS, we know you're over there. So In addition to that, from our perspective, one of the things that we can do, what we have had Lieutenant do for the past year, is he actually takes all the crimes and he plots them on the Google Maps. And so we have maps up in our department that have burglaries, robberies, more vehicle thefts, and they're all plotted so the officers can see if there's trends. But we're doing it old school way, he's pushing up on this. We'll be able to go on here, and the analytical side for us, they'll analyze all of that, and we can get, times, locations, things of that nature. That will do all of the work for us, and so it will push data out to us if there's something that we can better try to pinpoint our resources to prevent or stop a crime trend, or to even prevent it in the future. And then broader visibility of crime trends in the community and surrounding areas to better collaborate with our neighboring jurisdictions. I have spoken with all the other North Shore police chiefs, and they are soon going to be probably on crime reports. So I would imagine the whole North Shore will be on here soon. The nice thing about it is, and ironically, I had a resident contact me, the village manager probably, about a month ago, asking about the Greenfield article. Well, Greenfield beat us to the punch. They got theirs out first. We both signed up at the same time. The reason we took a little bit longer is because we use Bayside Communications, which is 7 communities, all use the same dispatch. So I had to work with them to get more roll to work together to get this to work, where they have their own dispatch and they were able to make the interface much quicker. So once they had theirs done, they knew what they had to do up here. So we got ours up and running, and now, of course, the other chiefs are very interested in it and want to do it as well. So you're really going to be able to probably see the whole North Shore. And if you do go on it, you'll be able to see Milwaukee, I believe, has their sex offenders registered on there. But that's all that they have on there.
So is this, has it been in the manager's memo? Are you encouraging everybody to
Yep,
sign
so
up?
after tonight, President Johnson will be pushing this out to Facebook. We're going to do a Nixle alert that this is available and directing people all to that website, crimereports.com.
How about a manager's memo?
And a manager's memo as well, yeah. Yeah, we've already got that worked out. We're just waiting for tonight to present it and see if there's any questions or thoughts or anything like that. So I think we're done if anyone's got any questions. Yes, sir.
Stephen K. has-
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's the difference between an official and confirmed crime versus, the numbers on here? So will some of these sometimes get resolved and they don't really turn out to be official?
There's times where we get dispatched to a certain situation that turns out not to be that. For example, like we get dispatched to a potential burglary at Collect Evil. And we get there, we find out it's a false one. So we're not going to publish that as being a burglary. It's just we went there, we call, investigated the situation, and it's not confirmed to be a burglary.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things this does, it puts a lot of onus on the officers to make sure they're categorizing their stuff correctly. I mean, we can go back, and if we have to reclassify something, we can do that. But, they have to be vigilant and make sure that if they get, if they went to a theft and ended up being a criminal trespass, that they code it correctly. Because otherwise it gets pushed out as that and not what it's supposed to be. But that's, it's not, that will be as accurate as we could possibly make it. There's always
But if it's
5%.
on here, it's confirmed. That it's,
Yeah, so if it's on here, if it goes to crimereports.com, it was a call that we received, a call that the officer completed, and whatever it's called a CFS code.
Call for service.
Call for service code. Whatever it was finalized at will be the code that gets pushed out. Okay? So, there could be an error where the officer puts the wrong code in and gets pushed out something different. And we could fix that, but yes, if it makes it to there, it happens. Something
and it would
happens.
show up in a uniform crime report.
That is
you would
correct.
prepare.
Yep.
So those numbers should be,
Pretty, yeah.
the same.
So, but one of the things that you have, so one of the things we didn't point out, and that's a good question to ask, is that, so the UCR, we had one situation that when we went back and looked at it, that how it had happened is there was unfortunately, the one sexual assault, which was a known person, by the way, so not that that certainly doesn't make it okay, but what I'm saying, it wasn't a victim, unknown victim, which is even worse, right? So, but what happens is that because that's a higher category, the UCR will present it as a sexual assault and not any other crime. So there could be that difference. It doesn't happen very often.
There's a
but
hierarchy.
There's a hierarchy. So, I mean, it can happen. So I always say within an error rate of 5% probably on all of those numbers, you know, so. But I mean, the 5% either way are consistently across the 40 years, so. Yes, sir.
So all of the feed comes from some electronic system that you use into their system. There's nothing manual about it.
Yes, so what they do is they have built an interface into our CAD system at Bayside, and that computer people got together and whatever information is pushed directly to crime reports at 1 a.m. And they do it there because it does bog their system down a little bit, so that's when it gets pushed out.
Are you thinking that this is going to replace Nixle, or are they just going to continue together?
I'm glad that you asked that question. No, it won't. So we'll continue to use Nixle. This is something that we really thought was important, more for the camera recording, but I also thought it's important that we get questions like, you know, wish we would have known. Well, there it all is for everyone to see. And we want to make sure that we have that information out there. So we won't replace Nixle. Nixle will still be used, but we're going to use Nixle like it was always intended, and that was to blast and not to overuse it, because if you use something over and over again, people, oh, I got another Nixle, and they swipe it away with the other 17 notifications. We really want to make, I want to make Nixle something that says, boom, wow, I need to really read this. This must be important. Police department put out this report. I need to read this, okay? So we try to keep it with the trends. We've been doing it with burglaries. I think we'll continue to do that. Certainly robberies, but not every disorderly conduct or things like that.
No, I agree. I think I've been on Nixle for 5 years, and I think when you get it, it's something important that you want to pay attention to.
Correct.
It's not frivolous.
Right.
So, and the last question, on the video, so you get registered, but can you only access it with our permission, or can you get it at any time and look at it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what you're registering is simply that you have a camera.
Okay.
They have no ability to access the feed of your camera or whatsoever. So all you're doing is, on the back end of it, our end of it, when we look it up, when I log in, when we have the administrator log in, I'll be able to see a dot, okay? Just like you see dots there for crimes, I see a dot where it's a camera. I click on that camera, it gives your address and any information that you submitted, phone number, email, those types of information. We would then contact you, and we would physically have to go to wherever you were, unless you had it cloud-based, that we would, so that we would work with you. So, does that answer your question? So you're not registering an IP address, you're not registering any of that, you're just registering simply that you have the camera, and it's important to know that you ultimately have the ultimate decision on whether or not you provide us with that information.
Are you talking about Ring doorbell camera or any?
Yeah, any camera.
Any camera.
Any
Do
camera.
you have cameras on your wall going down or whatever?
Correct. Correct. Yeah, you can register any camera. So you're really just registering that you have a camera, not so much of what type or what feed or anything like that, but you have a camera and you're saying, hey, police, you have a crime, we're willing to help you out, and give me a call. So you're gonna see this all over real soon, because this is the big thing that's trending.
I'll mention that on YouTube, if you put crimereports.com and search, you'll find a lot of different cities that
Yep,
have YouTube tutorials on how to do it.
okay. He's a YouTube sensation.
I think it's a wrong meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you be putting your presentation on the village's website for those who couldn't be here?
Yes. Yep. That's what title.
We're a little too busy Googling over there. I had a question about the burglaries. So a burglary, like if somebody steals a bike out of the garage, that's a burglary. But if somebody breaks into the door, knocks your door down and steals, thousands of dollars, that's a burglary.
Correct.
So I guess, sometimes there's this like mismatch between people are getting all upset about crime, but when the statistics lump, things together, it can sometimes be, I can see why people have the perception that that there's been an increase in crime, even though the numbers may not really show it. So I don't know if there's a way to break down, I know the FBI is asking for the data in a certain way, and it's probably not worth the effort to break it down further, but.
Yeah, we're actually moving to information-based reporting, which was really going to break it down even farther, what you're kind of talking about. And that breaks it down into items stolen, value of items stolen, item of value of items recovered. So it will break it down further. Actually, the lieutenant's going to a meeting tomorrow about IBR. And it's actually NIBR, right? National Information, National